Everything you're about to see in today's video is something I stand against. Hunters, invisibility, knives. But fellas, this build was shared out to me this weekend, and I don't know who the original creator was of this build, but they are a disgusting individual. Matter of fact, if you know who the original creator is, please tag them down below. I cannot take credit for this, for my soul can never conceive of such a disgusting build. This build is everything I hate about Hunters though. It has little to no counterplay. It takes advantage of the new hand cannon Aureus Neutralizer. It is quickly followed up with a lightweight knife, which instantly kills you. It allows you to go invisible with Assassin's Cowl and its vanishing execution, where powered melee final blows grant invisibility, and it also restores portions of your health and shields. And then to make matters even worse, you're also going to be utilizing Igneous Hammer, which I know some of you may not be using Igneous Hammer right now, but let me just say Igneous Hammer with Fever and Chill is a disgusting combination. Rapid precision hits with solar weapons grant radiance. You can combine that with Igneous. As a matter of fact, you can even roll that over into Igneous and Golden Tricorn, which in some cases can lead to 2-tap City. But let me just say, Igneous is not the star here. Aureus Neutralizer and this Hunter build is the star. So much so that someone like me, who is not only a novice at knives, but completely against it. Guys, you gotta understand, I have more shorts out there of my face getting knifed by fellow guardians in the community. It started with a hunter main named Antaeus Wards, and somehow continued. Countless guardians have loaded up knife builds, and somehow, some way, knives would find their way to my face. And it pained me so, as I was playing 6v6 games, comp games, throwing these knives into my fellow Titans' faces and getting the kills. Guys, I take no pride in this. I truly don't. But at the same time, I would be absolutely lying to you if I didn't tell you that this is some of the most arousing gameplay I've ever seen in my life. Look, man, I get it. I'm not a hunter main, but I get it. You elusive bastards. You got finesse, man. In today's build, guys, we're gonna be showing you a PvP build that, in my opinion, is absolutely busted. Now, first up, let's start where everything should start here, which is the hand cannon Aureus Neutralizer. We've talked about this hand cannon before, but I hadn't really nailed the role that I wanted, or at least what I thought I wanted. I went back and forth. Of course, something with high range is really good, just to maximize full damage. For those not familiar with this weapon, it's a spread shot hand cannon, meaning it's essentially a shotgun hand cannon. And it actually has a number of shotgun related perks, whether it's 1-2 punch, which I use a lot in most of this gameplay, trench barrel, which is also another shotgun perk. And although, yes, we could talk about a lot of other things in regards to proximity power and some melee-based builds inside of PvE, that's not what we're using this hand cannon for. This is a guardian killer, an absolute slayer. And in the world of special ammo meters inside of PvP, there's really not a whole lot that can contest this weapon in close range. It does its damage so immediately that either a follow-up shot is all that's required from Aureus Neutralizer, or just a straight-up melee could work with this hand cannon, which is where knives come in. You have the ability to follow up immediately with a knife, which is so instantaneous. And with Assassin's Cowl here, I'm going invisible, which is perfectly setting me up for the next engagement to easily land this wombo combo. This is the new age wombo combo. And I know we've had years of different wombo combos inside of Destiny 2 when it comes to hunters, whether it was back in the day with smoke and void wall grenades back in D1, or in the time of Beyond Light, where people would throw down their glacier grenades and shatter dive. Don't get me wrong, that was busted. Yeah! This, however, is quote-unquote more skillful, or at least not as infuriating. But I would argue and say the better you get with this, you'll reach a point where literally it's so hard to counter this. Like, I'm literally trying to figure out ways in which you could counter this, but it's just so instantaneous. And before anybody says, Cross, knives are hard to land, bullshit. Dude, these lightweight knives, crazy, dude. Absolutely crazy. I think they have so much target acquisition. But again, back to Aureus Neutralizer, there's really not a whole lot in the game right now that can counter this weapon in that close range. About the only things I can think of is maybe sidearms like Forgiveness, perhaps Last Word, or slug shotguns when slugs have ammo. That's really been the only times I felt like I got countered. The other thing that really makes this weapon so good is that it has access to temporal mods. PvP players, I have been utilizing Temporal Adapter on literally everything. And let me just say, this is such a good mod. Readying the weapon grants it bonus stability, handling, and reload speed for an improved duration that is borrowed from an alternate timeline version of the weapon. I utilize that alongside Aureus Neutralizer, and the duration is so long. Everything here feels so fluid, so snappy, so stable. And I think that's a big contributor to making Aureus Neutralizer feel so good. As far as the roles to go for this hand cannon though, it really just comes down to what it is you're trying to do. For instance, you can roll Trench Barrel. After a successful melee hit, the weapon gains increased damage, handling, and reload speed for a short duration or until 3 shots are fired. Now, Trench Barrel at base brings our crit damage up to 218. Now, you could commit to a 200 weapon stats, and this will bring you up to 229. But keep in mind, this leaves every Guardian at 1 HP. But the beautiful thing is that we have the ability to get Radiant and Trench Barrel, cranking our damage up to 239, which does allow for the one-hit kill. And considering we can rock fragments like Ember of Torches, where power melee attacks against combatants make you and nearby allies radiant. You also have Ember of Solace, which increases that duration. And of course, we have our Fever and Chill artifact mod. Getting radiant is not a difficult thing to do here. Needless to say, in a game mode like Sixes, you can run around, proc Trench Barrel, and then just go to Pound Town with the hand cannon itself. For the most part though, I did utilize 1-2 punch, although at least in my testing doesn't seem to be all that necessary. You see, hitting all pellets and then getting a body shot with a knife is still a kill even without 1-2 punch. The only time I could see 1-2 punch really being beneficial is if you're in situations where they're outside of your range. And if you got the enhanced version of 1-2 punch, you land 10 of the 12 pellets, and then boom, you've got that 100% melee buff, which is enough to get the cleanup with your knife. Another perk people really like inside of 6v6 though is things like Cascade Point. Benny's talked about Cascade Point. I haven't been able to pull it off myself, but essentially if you get a kill with one of your other weapons or you land sustained precision hits, you swap to Aureus Neutralizer and then you just start blasting. Let me just say guys, it's a bullet dose, so be ready to hang on to it. As far as the best trait though in that third column to pair with any of those perks, whether you're going 1-2 trench, opening shot, or cascade, I think Lone Wolf is a really good one. And considering the buffs that you get from Temporal Adapter, I don't think you need either threat detector or threat remover. I would just go straight up Lone Wolf. Kick up that aim assist, help with that airborne effectiveness. And what I like about it is that it's not kill dependent or hit dependent. It just gives you these benefits right out the gates. So again, high range, find some way to get up to 60 range, whether it's corkscrew, small bore, whatever, with accurized rounds, ranged masterwork, Lone Wolf, and then any of those perks in those final columns. I do like 1-2 punch. Even though I've been told that it's pointless, I still like it nonetheless. Now, where 1-2 punch could really shine is anything that involves an overshield, whether it's like a res shield, a void overshield itself, or even somebody just sitting in the rift. That's actually been a bit of a counter to myself, is if I push someone like sitting in a rift and they're actively healing, the combo doesn't quite work as well, right? Because I'll leave the enemy one shot, which gives them time to counter me. 1-2 punch does allow you to counter some of those scenarios with a little more efficiency. Now, this brings us though to the rest of our build. On my gauntlets, I'm rocking heavy-handed. That way, when I get power melee kills, I create an orb. For my helmet mods, what was shared to me was actually double hands-on. Granted, I like to have some targeting perks, especially for Igneous Hammer. Play how you want on that one. But the orb creation from heavy-handed, and say if you're rocking something like better already, when you push up to grab that orb, definitely helps. Granted, you can rock enhanced athletics, which is something that a lot of people are rocking, especially hunters, as that increases your base movement speed and jump height. Now, I'm not sure exactly how much. I haven't tested it yet. Knowing Bungie, that mod might not even work. Now, in terms of our solo aspects, we have Knock 'em Down and On Your Mark, alongside the fragments Ember of Solace, Ember of Torches, Ember of Tempering, Ember of Ashes, and Ember of Searing. Now, the knife of choice is lightweight knives. I like this simply because, in my opinion, they're some of the easier knives to land. Weighted knife is harder. Proximity knife is extremely easy, but it's not going to net you the kill. Lightweight knife, though, really does have some nutty target acquisition, like literally curves behind walls. Now, in terms of the best stat distributions, I like to rock high health, which I know may surprise some of you, but keep in mind, guys, health greatly affects how fast you get your shields back. I've been told that the sweet spot is about 160. For my melee stat, I sit about 140. And then for my class stats, I sit around 100. And guys, that's pretty much it. You can fluctuate whatever stats you want here, but it's a very simple build. And if somebody like me, who is not a hunter main whatsoever, can pick up these knives and this combo and somehow make something work with it, then for my hunter mains out there, you'll feel right at home. Honestly, kind of makes me sick thinking about it. Good luck getting this hand cannon, guys. It only drops from Trials of Osiris, but in my opinion, it's definitely worth it. It's got a number of good trait combinations, and whether you love it or hate it inside of Crucible, in my opinion, it's definitely challenging the current meta, which is a good thing. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.